Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel Harshit Akula. Today's vlog is going to be very special because we are exploring the capital city of India. It's Delhi, a city where every state has a story, every monument has a history, and every corner reflects India's rich heritage. In this video, we'll be visiting four of Delhi's most iconic landmarks: Qutub Minar, Lotus Temple, India Gate, and Red Fort. Each of these places represent a different chapter of India's history, architecture, culture, and pride. Along the way, I'll also share interesting facts, travel tips, and our experience, so stay till the end because every destination is unique in its own way. So, without wasting any more time, let us get right into the Delhi adventure. Our first destination is the Qutub Minar, one of the tallest brick minarets in the entire world. The moment you enter the complex, the first thing that catches your attention is the incredible height of this monument. Standing at approximately 72.5 meters or 238 feet, Qutub Minar dominates the skyline and instantly reminds us of the engineering brilliance of the medieval India. Construction of the Qutub Minar began in 1192 AD by Qutub Aibak, the founder of the Delhi Sultanate. However, he completed only the first floor. His successor and son-in-law Iltutmish added three more floors, and later, after lightning damaged the top portion, Firoz rebuilt the upper levels. One fascinating fact is that the Minar has 379 spiral steps leading to the top. Unfortunately, visitors are no longer allowed to climb because of the safety reasons. As you walk around, you notice how every floor has projecting balconies supported by beautifully carved brackets. The walls are decorated with intricate Arabic inscriptions, verses from the Quran, and stunning floral carvings. The tower over here is primarily made from the red sandstone, while the upper floors also include marble. Even after standing here for over 800 years, the monument continues to amaze visitors from around the world. A detailed description about the Qutub Minar is given right in front of it. But the tower isn't the only attraction over here. Inside the complex stands the famous iron pillar, believed to be over 1600 years old. Can you guys believe it? What surprises scientists even today is that this iron pillar has hardly rusted despite of centuries of exposure to rain and weather. It showcases the advanced metallurgical knowledge of ancient India. You will also find the remains of the Islam Mosque, one of the earliest mosques built in India, along with several ancient arch, dome, and ruins that add to the historical atmosphere. Walking through this complex almost feels like traveling back in time. Every stone has witnessed centuries of history. We spent some quiet time exploring, taking photographs, admiring the carvings, and simply appreciating the craftsmanship that has survived for generations. After enjoying this architectural masterpiece, it was time to head towards our next destination. Our second stop is one of the most peaceful places in Delhi, the beautiful Lotus Temple. Unlike many famous temples in India, the Lotus Temple does not belong to any one religion. It's a Baha house of worship, which means people from every religion, every country, and every background are welcome here. The temple was completed in 1986 and designed by Iranian architect Sabah. The building is shaped like a blooming lotus flower, India's national flower symbolizing purity, peace, and unity. The structure of the Lotus Temple consists of 27 giant marble petals arranged in clusters to form 9 sides. These white marble petals were imported from Greece, giving the temple its elegant appearance. Once you climb the stairs over there, you'll find a pool surrounding the Lotus Temple. One important rule here is maintaining complete silence inside. No photography, no loud conversations, no religious rituals, only peace. After entering the prayer hall, we sat quietly for a few minutes and then we came out. There were no speeches, no rituals, no distractions inside, just peaceful meditation. It created completely a different atmosphere compared to the busy streets of Delhi. Our next destination is the iconic India Gate, one of the biggest symbols of the patriotism in the country. There is also an underpass in Delhi where you can cross the road very easily. Standing proudly in the heart of New Delhi, India Gate is about 42 meters tall. It was designed by the famous British architect Sir Edwin and completed in 1931. Many people think it's just a tourist attraction, but its real purpose is much deeper. India Gate is actually a war memorial, built in memory of around 70,000 Indian soldiers who sacrificed their lives during the First World War and the Third Anglo War. If you look closely, you'll notice thousands of soldiers' names engraved on its surface. In 1972, after the Indo-Pak War, the Amar Jawan Jyoti Eternal Flame was installed beneath the arch to honor the unknown soldier. Today, the nearby National War Memorial carries forward the tribute to India's brave soldiers. Standing here makes you feel immense pride and gratitude for the people who gave everything for the country. The wide roads, green lawns, fountains, and the vibrant atmosphere make India Gate one of the Delhi's favorite evening destinations. Families relax here, children play around, street vendors sell ice cream and snacks, tourists click hundreds of photographs. As the sun slowly sets, the monument becomes even more beautiful in lights. Watching the Indian flag flutter nearby creates a feeling that's difficult to describe. Our final stop is the majestic Red Fort, one of the greatest symbols of India's history, built by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in 1648. This enormous fort served as the main residence of the Mughal Emperor for nearly 200 years. The fort gets its name from the massive red sandstone walls which stretch for almost 2.5 kilometers. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. One of the most significant reasons this fort is famous today is because every year on 15th August, India's Prime Minister hoists the national flag from the Red Fort and addresses the nation on Independence Day. Walking through the grand entrance known as the Lahori Gate, you immediately feel surrounded by the history over here. At Red Fort, we found a government guide who really explained us really well about the Red Fort's history.
Friends, you are welcome to the historical city of Shahjahanabad, which is popularly known as the Red Fort of Delhi. Red Fort was built by the 5th Mughal ruler. His name was Emperor Shah Jahan. Completed in year 1648 in the span of 7 years. It has taken 7 years to construct this. Why Lal Killa or the Red Fort was built by Shah Jahan? During Shah Jahan's lifetime in Agra city, where he was original home, he was building Taj Mahal for his beloved wife. While he was building Taj Mahal was a very expensive building. It was a very big, large building with a lot of wealth in it, sir. His two sons became against the father, started quarreling with the father. The name of the sons are the Aurangzeb and Dara Shikoh. After the dispute in the family, sir, with his two daughters shifted to Delhi. When he shifted to Delhi, he wanted to build a new home for himself. So he chose his land near the river Jamuna. River Jamuna. There is a river Jamuna behind. Near that they chose the land, and in 256-acre land they built his new house. How many? 256 acres. It's a very, very big place. Inside there are total of 12 palaces. How many? 12 palaces. And total of 25 to 30 historical buildings. That includes the British era buildings also. Now, in 1857, after the defeat of the Mughals here, the British became the rulers. And inside we have a Mughal fort everywhere, but also the British fort is there inside. We have two forts here.
Okay.
British built the barracks, bungalows, etc. The army facility. From here they ruled India. And after this place they went to Calcutta. After they got bored from Calcutta, they came to Delhi again. They built New Delhi. You know New Delhi?
Yes.
46-kilometer area, man. They built New Delhi. Where they built the India Gate, President's Palace, Parliament, etc. That is the biggest city. But this is small, 256 acres. Still big. Still very big. Now, this place where you are standing is known as the Lahori Gate. You see Lahori Gate is here. Why Lahori Gate is popular? Every 15th of August, when you see the television, the Prime Minister of India is giving a speech. He's giving from here. This is the background is coming in the TV. That is where he's standing. That is where the flag hoisting ceremony. That's why we have so many soldiers. This is a VIP area. It is used only for one day, that is 15th of August. And there are total of 7 domes. 7 domes are symbolic to 7 years. How many years?
7 years.
Showcases the advanced meteorological knowledge of ancient India.
Barracks. This is what the British built, sir. Total of 50 buildings here. For the soldiers, they built the barracks, and for the officers, they built the Dak Bangla. Dak Bangla means a big house. Inside, big room, front yard, backyard, servant quarters. So the British officers used to live in luxury. But this is very small. When you go to New Delhi, there are total 1200 bungalows. How many?
1200.
Similar. So that is a very big city, New Delhi, but this is a small one. So British established their residences here for the officer, and for the soldiers, such buildings are built everywhere. We call them barracks. And now you see the first historic Mughal building in front of you. That is called Diwan-e-Aam. Now Diwan-e-Aam is a Farsi word which means the audience of public, common man. Now those days in India is a big country. There is no police station, no courts. Nowadays we have everywhere. You call them, police will come. Court is there nearby, but those days nothing is there. So when people are fighting with each other, what do? They come here. They bring their disputes here, bring their petition and prayers here. Every day in the morning, the king is meeting the public, sitting on his throne, which is known as the Takht-e-Taus. Inside there are 3 parts of the Diwan-e-Aam, common man's palace. First is the entry gate. Second is the Maidan. Maidan is the meaning arena, where the people will sit down and wait for the king's call. Then they will go inside the Darbar Hall, where the king's throne is there, luxurious throne, embedded with all the rubies, emerald, diamonds, sapphires. So now we are going to the throne. VIP area called Diwane Khas. That is Diwane Aam, common man. This is Khas means elite, noble, high profile, VIP. Now this place was very important because the king had a lot of special guests, family members who were taking care. Now you see, every palace has a name and a purpose. This one here is the wardrobe of the king. This is where he's getting dressed. Remember, the king is from head to toe getting so well dressed. Safa, the turban, the swords and the sherwanis and the shoes, everything is important. They used to take 1 or 2 hours to get ready. Then they will go in front of the public. Otherwise, who will respect them? Even the looks really matter. So this is for the getting ready. And right opposite in the corner you see, that is called Mariam Mahal. Mariam Mahal is basically named after his wife. The same wife who died in Agra, for whom he built Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal has taken 22 years. But when he was here, the Shah Jahan, he could not go back to Taj Mahal because sons, they are having a threat. So what he did, he built a little bit memorial for his wife. He used to keep her clothes, her belongings, just to remember. And then this palace he built here is called Rang Mahal. That is built to give hospitality and entertainment to the high profile people who are visiting from the other kingdoms. Okay. Remember India, we were 560 kingdoms. During Mughal rule, they were handling about 100 kingdoms. So very big empire from North-West empire. South is not their empire, West is not their empire, but mostly Afghanistan, Pakistan, Punjab area, Jammu Kashmir, Delhi, all this is under them, UP, all Mughal territory. So they are handling large empires. So all these rulers of those kingdoms are coming here. Now when they come to make the meeting with the ruler, meeting means important decisions. They have to have hospitality. So this is a place created for them to stay in the night. Sometimes state guests can stay for 2-3 days, sometimes 7 days. It depending on how many days the king wants them to stay here. So that is purpose is building purpose is for the hospitality to the VIP guests. And right opposite, I'll tell you now about the facilities. Inside the hall, there are 4 luxury suites. In the center, there is a water fountain for coolness. And opposite side, madam, you see, there is a swimming pool. So the guest is coming from very far, dusty, hot weather. So they are coming enjoying with a swimming pool. And nearby, garden is created, Mughal garden, and planted with a plantation called orchards, seasonal fruits. So guests will go into the garden, take their own fruits, enjoy, the luxury. Water is luxury, the fruits are luxury, the space is luxury. Inside the luxurious rooms, for the night is luxurious. Under the basement, inside the building, there are basements where they're keeping all the belongings. When they come from traveling from far, they're bringing paraphernalia, which means so many items. They are traveling with a caravan with horses and so many other items, luggage. So they have to keep it under the basement, inside the basement. And this building which you see in front of you with the dome, that is the bedroom of the king. That is the sleeping chamber, sir. That is where the king is spending his night. Inside there are 2 rooms. This entire property is built on a river front. There used to be a river on other side, eastern side. You came from the west. This is east. Now the shape of the fort, you may have noticed, is in the shape of a palm. Rectangular. It's not round, it's not square, it is rectangular. You see, you are somewhere in between. Now that is a wall there, that is the end of the fort. And behind used to be the river flowing from Himalaya. This is Himalaya this side. Coming like this and going to Agra and Bay of Bengal. So 3 cities are built on the same river bank. The river is important. Without river you cannot have water, you cannot have life. Very necessary for the palace life. Then you see, this is a very important palace where we are going, called Diwane Khas. King is going, traveling someplace, they are not going by the road, they are going by the water. Shifted to Delhi with 2 daughters, Roshan Ara and Jahan Ara. They are the one who built Chandni Chowk of Old Delhi and the famous masjid which can accommodate 25,000 people. So when the father is going on a long journey, Shah Jahan, sometime for battle, sometime for meetings, so the daughter will come here, they'll say bye bye. So this is bye bye Papa window. here, have a look at this beautiful hall. Come here, bye. The name of this hall is called Diwan-e-Khas. That is the main Diwan-e-Khas hall. That is a royal meeting hall. Here, near about the sunset, at the same time, the king Shah Jahan is having meeting with all the royal guests. My friends, here, have a look at this beautiful hall. Come here, bye. The name of this hall is called Diwan-e-Khas. That is the main Diwan-e-Khas hall. That is a royal meeting hall. Here, near about the sunset, at the same time, the king Shah Jahan is having meeting with all the royal guests. Same royal guests who are staying in that palace. In the evening time, they are having the meeting here. They are making treaties, important decisions, agreements between the two kings. They are happening here. There was something very important on the bench here. There was a throne, chair, like a royal throne, called the Pikapuru. The weight was about 500 kilograms, made by gold. And inside, so many diamonds. The one very famous diamond called the Kohinoor diamond. That is 156 carat diamond. It's from South India, from Golconda mines. It was brought here and then it was studded, divided into many pieces. Was from, but originally from South India. The ceiling is made by gold. The walls are made of gemstones. The carpets here. For the harsh weather, rough weather, too much hot, cold, breezy, rainy, they used to have curtains. Inside there are curtains for the privacy. When the king is having a meeting between the two kings, they want to be private, then they unfold the curtains inside. Now in the corner where we are going, that is the bathroom of the king. Hammam, or the bathroom of the king. Inside there are total 7 halls. Halls means bathtub. The king every day taking bath with a different style. And he has a special servant. They are trained in giving bath. They are not taking bath themselves. We call them kanis. So nowadays, how much time we have? 10 minutes, 5 minutes for bath. Those days, 2-3 hours. They're spending in the bathroom. They don't want to come out because it's part of the enjoyment. Everywhere out is stress. Then this is for the enjoyment. Hammam. 5 luxurious pavilion palaces where you used to sit down and enjoy and do some activity. You can see for the sunrise, Moti Mahal. In the corner there is one palace, you will enjoy food there. For the dance and the music, this is for the private life. And this is for time to time when he will do his readings. So every activity has one palace. So his meeting palaces are different, his public justice palaces are different, his luxurious guest house, everything in his life is full of enjoyment. So these kings, they did not live a normal life, they lived an extraordinary life of today's dream. Can you imagine on one man's house, 256 acres? The rich people of Delhi, you know how big is their house? Maybe 2 acres, 5 acres, 7 acres. The richest man of Delhi, Shah Jahan, 256 acre house you saw, it's a dream house.
History becomes much more meaningful when you actually stand where the history happened. Exploring every section of the fort takes time, but every corner has something interesting to offer. If you are visiting Delhi, Red Fort is definitely a place you shouldn't miss. And with that, our incredible Delhi sightseeing journey comes to an end. Today we explored the towering Qutub Minar, experienced the powerful atmosphere of the Lotus Temple, paid tribute to our brave soldiers at the Indian Gate, and stepped back into the Mughal history at the magnificent Red Fort. Delhi is truly a city where ancient history and modern life exist together. Every monument tells a different story and every visit leaves you with unforgettable memories. I hope you enjoyed this exploring Delhi with me as much as I enjoyed creating this video for all of you. If this video helped you to learn something new or inspired you to visit Delhi someday, don't forget to hit the like button, share this video with your friends and family, and subscribe to my channel Harshit Akula for more exciting travel adventures. And also let me know in the comments which place in today's video was your favorite. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next vlog. Until then, take care, keep exploring and keep making memories. Jai Hind. Thank you.